try not to undo that which was built all around me. Take it all the way back to the melody. All we want is attack, back where we wanna be, and all we had was our ways about it all. I think you don't know now, but it could be so much better, yeah. I just need a band to save me. I just need a song of hope, and I wish somebody would amaze me still, and not make me feel like I'm alone. I will believe while lost and still broken. There's a light and a way out, only to say now. Take it all the way back to the melody. And I will sleep in the glory of all mankind, and wonder now how you will, feel this way. Only lonely, the way you'll never be. And I may be the one still waiting, but this is where I'll wait until I'll see. I just need a band to save me. I just need a song of hope, and I wish somebody would amaze me still, not make me feel like I'm alone. I just need a band to save me. I just need a song of hope, and I wish somebody would amaze me still, not make me feel like I'm alone. I think you know you're on your own, but is there anything we can be sure of? You think you know, you think you know. You think you know you're on your own, but how is there anything we can be sure of? You think you know, but you know that you will never be on your own now. Never be on your own. I just need a band to save me. I just need a song of hope, and I wish somebody would amaze me still, and not make me feel like I'm alone now. Don't make me feel like I'm alone now. Don't find, but you will find somewhere. I hope you will. I hope you will find somewhere. I hope you will never be alone.
Asked her if she stay a while. She said that truly not my style. I might be here for tonight, but baby I'll be gone in the morning light. Take me away to my favorite place, where I don't have to grow up and stay this young forever. Baby, can you play this game? So are you too busy growing up to be something you don't wanna be? Give you accept where you gotta be tonight. Oh, you don't wanna be
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Country Road Sports Cars 100 here live in South Boston. This is the Rick's Hot Sauce Late Model Series. And I'm your lead announcer, Hunter Sleppy, and unfortunately, my right-hand man, Jacob Bell, not able to be with us tonight. And glad to have back in the booth Harold Garner, our producer. Harold, how's it going? Yeah, still got two. All right, well, it's the playoffs. It's crunch time. It's time for the 10 drivers in the playoff standings to get down to it. No more silly fun business. No more none of that stuff. All right, so here we are. The Rick's Hot Sauce Late Model Series. Here's our playoff standings right now. You see from top to bottom all the playoff drivers, and they're listed in gold. You see there from the top to the bottom, we got Johnny Collier, Jerry Glenn, Jeremy Knapp, Dawson Miller, Ed Moore Sr., Cliff Mullins, Jeremy Rigney, Matthew Robinson, James Shane Wolf, Sebastian Taylor, Rick Ward, and Philip York, aka Jacob York. There are your 12 playoff drivers. I'm looking at all the starts. I'm looking at 10. Alrighty, so tonight we're going to have the Country Road Sports Cars 100 here live in South Boston. The first playoff race. We have a 5-race chase, if you will, for the playoffs in the Rick's Hot Sauce Late Model Series. We start tonight at South Boston, then we travel down to Myrtle Beach for the Miller Racing Graphics 100. Then we go back up north to the Milwaukee Mile for Country Road Sports Cars 100. Then back down to Five Flags for the America's Auto Auction 100, and then the season finale and the championship race at USA, the Country Road Sports Cars Championship. Now, yeah, it seems like there's a little bit of an audio issue with you, Harold. Oh. Yeah, don't believe they can hear you. I'm looking throughout the chat. Don't know if they can hear you.
How about now? I think we fixed it. There we go. You know, sometimes I fail to do stuff too, guys. I'm so sorry. But what I said earlier was, you know, you lose one, you get the other, so I'm back. And while I was on vacation, because this is what vacation does to you, I went by the auto auctions of Western Michigan over there outside of Grand Rapids.
That'd have been cool to see.
Yeah, not too bad. I mean, I got family and friends in Kalamazoo, Michigan, not too far from the Grand Rapids area. Grew up racing K-Zoo Speedway over at Galesburg and Berlin.
Nice, that's great to hear. As we have just over a minute left in our practice session, these guys trying to get a little bit more wear and tear in their tires. Some drivers on long runs, some on short runs, some even testing out qualifying setups or qualifying runs.
A lot of hot lapping going on, usually in these practice sessions towards the end. Should have already got your fuel calculations and your tire wear down. Now you're just trying to put yourself on the best lap to get in the front part of the heats.
Yep. Oh, had a little bit of a wreck there too. Just want to give the fans a little bit of a heads up. If you take a close up, let's take a close up on that 56 car, Dawson Miller. You'll be able to tell which driver is contending for the championship tonight. There you can see, you'll see the yellow color there on the rear of the car, on the front of the car, there you can see it. It's on the windshield too. That yellow marker solidifies that they are a playoff driver. So you can see the yellow on the bottom of the front of the car, all the way around the side, displayed on the windshield and then on the rear spoiler, all in yellow. So it lets everyone know that it isn't contending for the playoffs. What driver that is, because at times tonight we're going to see some tempers flaring, and it could result in some chase hopes going up in smoke. So there you see timer at all 0, so that means practice is over. We're going to spin near the pit wall. It's time for qualifying at South Boston Speedway.
All right. Already gonna start off early with all the spinning and moving, right?
Yeah, never too early. All right, so the format, format is still the same. It's 5 minutes to put on a hot lap, and let's just stick with the 56 right here. Dawson Miller, one of the playoff contenders, going out. He's the first car on track. Gets it up high. Oh, he just wrecked it. Not how you want to start qualifying. That's going to put him back on pit road.
Well, the great thing about this, you get 2 laps. He didn't get that first one down, so he'll be able to get a hot lap in.
That is true. He will get another lap in, but that makes that second lap more crucial than the first one. And you see on the top right, Sebastian Taylor, another playoff driver, has hit the top of the chart with a 15.784. Carter Coop not too far behind in the 15.824. He's seen more drivers there on the left side of the screen putting out lap times, but right now we're on board with Jacob York in the number 25.
You see Nap basically commenting that he's from Vicksburg, Michigan, so he's very familiar with the Kalamazoo, Portage, Battle Creek area that my folks hail from. So that's why I was there, visiting my side of the family, which doesn't happen very often. Jacob York puts himself in the 3rd spot.
Yep, he was in 2nd. Then Jeremy Knapp puts himself at a 15.08. 809. Wow, I am really thirsty here. So Jeremy Knapp currently in the 2nd spot. We know Jeremy Knapp has a strong fan base in the chat. He is also a playoff driver tonight.
Sebastian Taylor, I don't believe he's in the top 12, or did he get in there?
Oh, yeah, Sebastian Taylor's in the top 12.
Oh, that's right, because of his wins. That's right. But he wasn't around the whole season. That's what was so weird about
Yeah, he's taken a couple races off, but he's back, and he's getting strapped in for this 5-race playoff chase. There's another playoff driver, Ed Morris Sr., currently 13th in qualifying right now with a 16.209. Still have 4 drivers yet to put a lap down. Here's one of them, Matthew Robinson, one of the big names in this series. Whoa, he gets a little loose there.
You need to heat the tires
turn
up.
4, and maybe heat him up too much.
He's smartly stopped so he can get that full run in on that. So he'll get his he'll reset the car, get his run lap, and then he'll get his 1 lap in. That's what he'll restart. So.
Yep.
Johnny Collier.
Johnny Collier, another playoff driver in the 33 car. So I believe he's taking the green flag this time. Yep.
You know, what's strange about this is seeing a lot of spinning coming off the corners. For a night race, that's not normally the case. Usually this is our day races that we see a lot of that fishtailing off the corner.
Yeah, it was a 16.067 there for Collier. Don't believe he tapped the wall. Or he might have.
Yes, he did. He touched it.
Yeah, he just tapped the wall.
Negated his time, as you said.
Yeah, it did negate the time. So if you smack the wall, if you just kiss the wall in any qualifying lap that you're trying to put down, does not help you at all. As that 2nd lap from Collier was better than his 1st, and that will slot him in the 12th spot right now. So the only car left with less than a minute 30 to go in our qualifying session is Caleb Steimer. He has yet to put down a lap time, but everybody else has put down a lap time so far. Top 5 is Sebastian Taylor, Jeremy Knapp, Jacob York, Carter Coop, and James Shanewell. 4 of those top 5 playoff contenders.
I believe somebody in chat is one of our playoff drivers. I guess doesn't have the banner on his scheme so we have 1 playoff driver that's not in the yellow.
That
This is what Twitch
looks
says.
to be the 37 of Cliff Mullins.
So we can verify that when we get them back out on the racetrack.
Yep.
I always like being able to look at the chat. You know, it's unlike, you know, the NASCAR commentators who have no idea what their fan base is saying. We actually get to play with the fans.
Yeah, we sure do. I mean, from time to time they like to throw up tweets, but they don't really do as much as we do.
Oh, they'll grab one in a million and talk about it.
Yeah, and the one they choose, it's a celebrity or it's a different driver.
Yeah, something of that nature. We have drivers too that we talk to when they put up their chat. So, but now we have we have about 10 seconds left in qualifying, and then there are 15 minutes of their drivers meeting. So we have some time to kill talking about the playoff format a little bit. I mean, I haven't really read all the rules on the policies and such, but is it going to be an elimination type, or is it just the top 12?
Believe it's just a top 12, no real elimination style. As Caleb Steimer actually put a lap time up, he's 13th right now, but that's going to do it for qualifying. So from top to bottom, your running order is going to be Sebastian Taylor on the pole, Jeremy Knapp in second, Jacob York third, Carter Coop fourth, James Shanewolf going to round out that top 5, and then 6th through 10th is going to be Michael Light, Pierce Maffitt, Cliff Mullins, Jeremy Rigney, and Dean Gagliano. Going to switch to the rest of the field here, and outside the top 10 from 11th to 17th is going to be Josh Collins, Johnny Collier, Caleb Steimer, Rick Ward, Dawson Miller, Ed Morris Sr., and Matthew Robinson going to start 17th. However, we still have our 2 heats. Heat number 1 presented by Miller Racing Graphics, and heat number 2 presented by Dogtopia. Got some of that to look forward to. You can see some aggression in those heats as well, because not only are we in the playoffs, but starting position matters more than any point in the season right now. You want to get a good starting spot, you want to get a good launch on the restart, and you, most importantly, you want to stay out of trouble and just get there at the end.
And Mullins said, the car's yellow. It's close enough.
So it looks like he's got a yellow paint scheme.
So it's kind of neat to get in there and talk to our drivers from time to time, and got to see the folks. So I'm glad I was able to have Ryan pick up the producing thing for me last week. Shout out to the Bearded Sim Racer and the Podium staff. Helped out with them much time, so I'm glad that they returned the favor for me.
Yep, they did a great job in the last week's running at New Hampshire, which was quite a chaotic event. Let's talk about that. Just a little bit of a recap. Basically, the main storyline coming out of New Hampshire was James Shanewolf versus Jacob York. They went at it back and forth all race long, and it got to the point where the mods or the staffers said, well, if they keep touching each other, one of them's getting parked, because they spilled it over and over too many times, and it got other drivers collected in their little run-in. So they had to step in, and they stayed relatively calm for the most part.
The red trailer spoke, as they say, right?
Red trailer, yeah.
Yeah. Go see the red trailer after you're done. That's not a good thing usually. Whoops, being called to the trailer, or I guess NASCAR calls it the NASCAR hauler, but
yeah, the hauler.
I always remember the trackside that was the red trailer. Usually behind the concession stand is usually where the boss man was, and they would be like, "Let's talk about the way you drove your car tonight." Like, what? It's like, I was turning left and going fast. It's like, so that's how that works, right? So.
Yep. All right, so we got about 11:30 left before we get our heats going. Want to get a little track facts in here. It's going to be a 100-lap race, the Country Road Sports Cars 100. It's 4/10 of a mile. 4/10 of a mile here. So going to be 40 miles. You're going to have the pit road speed at 35. So if there's any pit stops under green, because we saw it happen the past couple of weeks, if there's anyone making pit stops under green, it's going to be very crucial to get down to that speed limit and not speed. And pretty banked track all the way around. We have 10 degrees on the front stretch and back stretch, and then 12 degrees throughout the turns. So it's going to be really close, tight quarter racing. So the inside walls are pushed up more. Here's our weather forecast presented by Lottie'sTravelWorld.com. It's partly cloudy with 77-degree air temp and 80-degree track temp. The humidity is at 56%, and the winds from the north back again at 2 miles an hour.
You just love that 2 miles an hour weather report ever.
I'll tell you,
know
man,
what?
something.
That weatherman is the most consistent person in iRacing.
I'll tell you what, some things come and go, but some things never change. We still have about 10 minutes left before our Country Road Sports Cars 100, the first playoff race of 5 here in the Rick's Hot Sauce Late Model Series.
You know, we're in South Boston in Virginia. As you and I were talking before the broadcast, you know, you're up in the Philly area. I'm located between Philly and Baltimore. So, you know, the Virginia's not that far from us, you know, so I have had the opportunity to go down and check some of the racetracks down in that area. Quite a few in that area, actually, you know, especially with the Sadlers and, Burtons. And, you know,
The Burtons, yeah, I was going to say, this is their old stomping grounds back in the day.
Exactly. These are the Virginia boys area, right? So, but it's interesting to come back and watch this stuff. So, and you said you watched the Cup race tonight, so I haven't had a chance to. I know I should be watching more, but I'm not. Too busy doing other stuff. So.
Yeah, Cup race. What a race that turned out to be. It was a long one, but they got it done. So we still have a little over 9 minutes left before the first heat, the Miller Racing Graphics heat, and then the second heat, the Dogtopia heat.
Yeah, so that's our one and two heats, and so so this will be interesting for a few more. What is it? 5 more weeks. This is week 1 of 5 for the playoffs.
Yep.
And then
week 1 of 5.
So we thought tempers were moving already. So now that the points matter a whole lot more, they're going to get a little bit more aggressive, I take it.
Yeah, especially with the points leveling out. Everybody's at 1,000 points right now, so they're all at an even level playing field points-wise. So you could see drivers from the back of the points, like Johnny Collier, maybe even Jeremy Rigney, guys. They're now on an even level playing field with the big 3 in Matthew Robinson, James Shanwolf, and Sebastian Taylor. Could see some of those guys taking more chances.
Yeah, out of these. So it looks like, you know, with the top 10s, we have Collier, Mullins, Robinson, all had 8. And then we have Jeremy Knapp had 9 top 10s. Was it Robinson with the most top 5s? So some very consistent guys in those two.
Yep, let's take a quick little look here at the playoff standings. As you can see, their stats from throughout the year. The most top 10s out of all these guys are going to be Jeremy Knapp. He's got 9 top 10s on the year. You want to see consistency in your driver when it comes down to the playoffs. Still no wins yet. Got 5 top 5s, but 9 top 10s, so that's good for Jeremy Knapp. And then obviously the most wins going to be a tiebreaker there between Matthew Robinson and James Shanwolf. And not too far off, Sebastian Taylor. Those 3 have kind of been the more dominating cars throughout the year. And there you see Jacob York there at the bottom with a win. So almost all the wins this season have come from playoff drivers. The only driver in the field that's not in the playoffs that won a race was Michael Leip, and that was his first race last week at New Hampshire. So he got the job done in his first race, and he really put on a show there. It's actually the cousin of Jacob York, and they were going at it in the heats, and they were going at it in the race, and Michael Leip got the best of everyone in his first race.
And also look at Jerry Glenn. Interesting there. 5 starts. 1 outside the top 10, 2 outside the top 5. So he's batting a pretty good batting average for top 5 performances. And he's in, they said, everybody's even now.
Yeah, they're using their provisionals as much as they can, and there's going to be no more fill-in drivers. So basically what you see is what you get. So we have 17 cars for tonight. There's going to be no one from the outside coming in that could potentially tamper with the playoff contenders. So we have a little over, well, now under 6 minutes left before our first 2 heats of the night, and then the main event here at South Boston to kick off the Rick's Hot Sauce Late Model Series playoffs.
So is it too early to ask our audience who they think is going to win tonight's race?
No, it's not too early. So you guys can go ahead and put in the chat right now who you think will win tonight's race. Could it be the current pole sitter right now, Sebastian Taylor, or could it be Matthew Robinson down on the bottom, 17th? He didn't get a good qualifying, or that was Sebastian Taylor last week, sorry. Sebastian Taylor didn't get a good qualifying in last week. Got his way up through the top 10, but got caught up in some wrecks. We had a lot of wrecks last week in New Hampshire. And from the drivers I've been talking to, we could see a lot more wrecks tonight than we did in New Hampshire.
We saw the fishtailing off of 2 and 4, so I anticipate, and that was just during qualifying. Imagine what's going to happen when they're running 2 and 3 wide into those corners.
Yeah, I talked to Jacob York just before the race, and he said if they gets to that point coming out of turn 4, there's the possibility of a big wreck happening. It could collect about 8 or 10 cars. So we have to keep an eye out for that, and especially with the playoffs, because you're going to see more aggressive racing from, like we said, guys in the back like Jerry Glenn and 37 to Cliff Mullins, Jeremy Rigney, guys that typically they weren't higher up in the points. They're now on the same level as Sebastian Taylor and Matthew Robinson. So, and every position matters. So we see we got one driver in the chat. Driver. Yeah, we got a driver in the chat. It's James Shane Wolf. First one that's being picked by you, the fans. Or should I say Shane Wolf's bumper for the win? Yeah, the bumper could fly off and fly ahead of Shane Wolf.
You know, deck lids, you know, aren't they strapped down nowadays?
Yeah.
You might get a couple inches.
After last week, some of the car parts from Shane Wolf and Dawson Miller might have flown into the grandstands. They took a tumble in turn 3 and 4. Dawson Miller got the worst end of it.
Carter Coop has been bumped up into the chase because one of the drivers didn't show it this week, according to Kyle Knapp, the race controller.
Oh, well, that's interesting.
That's in Twitch, so it's on the stream.
So it must be official. It's been said.
It's been spoken.
So,
yeah, well, that's a little bit of a shock here. We're going to try and get that driver that didn't show up or that got bumped out for Carter Coop.
But it helps out Carter Coop, though. So
It was very interesting to see Carter. And Carter Coop's 4th.
yeah. So the top, that would be the top 5 are playoff contenders with, you said, Michael Leip, who won last week, who's not in the playoffs because that was his first race. So
Yeah, that was Michael Leip. And he's 6th right now.
Mm-hmm. And Pierce Moffitt, I don't believe he's a playoff either.
Oh, yeah, but it looks like the driver that got bumped out is Jerry Glenn.
Ah, that was the guy that I said only had 5 starts.
Yep. Let's go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and pull up Carter Coop's stats. Even though he's only got 2 starts on the year, he's got 1 top 5 and 2 top 10s, and he's the next man in.
So he was
Very
13th,
interesting
huh?
to see. Yeah, that's essentially the 13th playoff driver. Well, not really.
On the bubble and found his way in. So there you go.
Yeah, still found his way in.
Yeah. So
that's an interesting turn of events right there. So Jerry Glenn not in tonight, so he's out of the playoffs if he were to come back. And Carter Coop is now in the playoffs. So that's an interesting development. We're going to have to keep an eye on the Carter Coop situation. Because this could be big if he just comes in and steals the championship. I mean, we've seen it happen in NASCAR where drivers like Ryan Newman, they find themselves in the championship battle without winning a race all year. But this is different because Carter Coop's only made 2 starts this season. He could win a couple races and be up at the top.
well, you know, if you've been watching Tony's league, his short racing guys, he ended up last night, locking up the points, and he hasn't won yet for the championship, the SRX series.
Or Tony Stewart?
Yes.
No, he won the dirt races.
He did win a race. Maybe I didn't see that one. I thought he was winless. See, I'm missing. See, that's what I got Hunter for. I'm not the guy with statistics. I thought I watched all of them. I seen Tony second, third. You know, so I must have missed that one. Which one was that? Eldora? Did he finally?
He won at both the dirt races. He won at Knoxville and Eldora.
Oh, okay. So then I stand corrected. You know, don't tell my wife. She says I'm always telling her I'm right, and she says, but she knows better. So I'll leave the stats up to Hunter from now on, people. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna run the cameras here, as we're getting close to finishing up the drivers' meeting.
Yep, the drivers' meeting is about to end, and that was basically just to tell the drivers what not to do and what you can do, especially when it's playoff time. So you see that checker flag on the top left. That means we're about to get our first heat race going here at South Boston. It's going to be the Miller Racing Graphics Heat number 1. Your number 1 source for iRacing graphics, logos, and more. Get 50% off your first paint scheme at facebook.com/MillerSimGraphics. And here's our Country Road Sports Card starting grid for heat number 1. We have Sebastian Taylor is going to lead off on the pole, and starting next to him is Jacob York. Row 2 is going to be James Shanewolf and Pierce Maffitt. Row 3 will have Jeremy Rigney, Josh Collins, and then the last row we're going to have Caleb Steimer and Dawson Miller. Oh, we have Matthew Robinson. One more.
Don't forget Matthew Robinson.
Yeah, Matthew Robinson. All right, so it looks like we have a fan here saying Carter Coop's going to win.
Well, there you go, Carter Coop for the win. So gets in on the bump, and they think he's going to steal the show and get up to the top of the leaderboard from 13th. That'll be a heck of a night for Carter Coop.
Oh yeah, they got the one to go this time by for the start of the heat. Now all heats are 6 laps long, and there are no yellows in it. So if you wreck, you're screwed, and you're basically going to start at the back. So we're running on the front bumper of James Shanewolf. We could see that camera being used quite a lot tonight, especially the front bumper of Shanewolf. Pace car is going to make a hard left turn here on the pit road, and the 27th, Sebastian Taylor, is going to lead us to the green flag for Miller Racing Graphics heat number 1. There you see Jacob York with a run up top on the outside of the 27. Got to watch out for the exits of turn 2 and 4. That's where we've been seeing our trouble spots. But right now, everything's so far so good. Got a heck of a battle back there for the 5th spot. But right now, it's the 27th, Sebastian Taylor, is going to take the lead. The one of Shanewolf underneath Jacob York. We've seen these guys get into it a bunch last week, and right behind them is Pierce Maffitt in the 11. That's the 18 of Josh Collins that went up high. 84 of Jeremy Rigney. Oh, there goes York. He gets into Maffitt. Maffitt's going to spin right into pit road and collecting the 36 of Caleb Steimer. He's also collected in it, and there's no yellows in this. And the leaders are catching them quick. Oh, and there goes the leader. Sebastian Taylor spins right on the pit road. He's going to turn back on the track. Nearly gets hit. What a chaotic turn of events. We have 3 laps to go, and the leader gets spun. James Shanewolf's going to take the lead. There you see the 2 cars. Steimer and Taylor are on pit road. Pierce Maffitt's just going into 1 and 2 right now, but it's all James Shanewolf. 2 laps left in this first heat, and he's got no competition. Nope, we got the white flag. That's how fast these laps are at South Boston. And coming out of 3 and 4 for the final time in the first heat of the night, it's James Shanewolf, who miraculously gets the heat win, and he'll be starting on the front row. Wow. That was quick.
Very quick.
Super quick. Did not expect it to go that quick. All right. Well, your finishing results from that first heat going to be James Shanewolf, Jeremy Rigney, Dawson Miller, Matthew Robinson, and Jacob York, your top 5. Then the rest of the field, you got Josh Collins, Pierce Maffitt, Caleb Steimer, and Sebastian Taylor. He started at the front row, and he finishes dead last in his heat, so that means he's going to be starting dead last. It was a big pickup for Matthew Robinson because he started last in the first heat, and now he's going to start in the 7th spot for the main event.
It went so fast it broke our timing. That's why I'm having to restart it. That's why I was not able to get you the stuff here. So let's get you the grid for heat number 2 now.
Yep. Dogtopia heat number 2 about to get underway. Here's our starting grid, once again presented by Country Road Sports Cars. So the front row is going to consist of Jeremy Knapp and Carter Koop, just recently added into the playoffs. And then row 2, we're going to have Michael Leip and Cliff Mullins. Row 3, Dean Gagliano, Johnny Collier. And row 4, we're going to have Rick Ward and Ed Morris Sr. Now this is for heat number 2, presented by Dogtopia of Fredericksburg, Virginia. Healthy dogs are happy dogs at Dogtopia of Fredericksburg. Fun-filled days with your pups, best furry friends forever. Dogtopia offers daycare and boarding spa treatment. Enroll your furry friends today at dogtopia.com. Well, they're about to put the pace car on pit road once more for another 6-lap heat. This time it's the Dogtopia heat number 2, and it's going to be led by Jeremy Knapp on the inside. Green flags in the air.
Jeremy Knapp got a good start off the green flag there all by himself.
You see, we got the bow for a second. Look at the 52 of Carter Koop. Look at that paint scheme.
He wants to go fast.
Sure does want to go fast. So he's going to lose the second spot now to Michael Leip, last week's winner at New Hampshire. But up front, Jeremy Knapp pulling away from the rest of the pack. Oh, there you go. And
left the track there. That's why I grabbed my camera, went to look for a crash that wasn't there.
well, we're coming to 3 to go this time by, and that 26 of Michael Leip has caught up with Jeremy Knapp. He slowly reeled him in. There you see, just put up the fastest lap. So could we see a bumper or two being used? About to find out here as they come off turn 4. 2 laps to go in our second heat of the night. Michael Leip's closing in on the 20 of Jeremy Knapp. Now remember, Jeremy Knapp is racing for a championship. Michael Leip is not.
As Michael Leip just disappeared. He's back now.
All right, one more lap here at South Boston for Dogtopia heat number 2. The 26 of Leip all over the bumper, Jeremy Knapp. So they come down the backstretch and into turn 3 for the final time. 26 of Leip not going to be able to do it. It's going to be Jeremy Knapp in the 20 who wins Dogtopia heat number 2. A much cleaner second heat. Here's our finishing results for that heat. It's going to be Jeremy Knapp winning, followed by Michael Leip, Carter Koop, Dean Gagliano, and Cliff Mullins, your top 5. Then the rest of the pack, Johnny Collier, Rick Ward, and Ed Morris Sr. Man, that went quick. Wow, how about 100 laps? That was 100 laps sound.
Let's do it again.
Let's do it again. All right, here's your starting grid now for the Country Road Sports Cards 100, presented by Country Road Sports Cards. So front row, we're going to have James Shainwolf on the pole and Jeremy Knapp starting second. Row 2, we're going to have Jeremy Rigney in the 84 and Michael Leip in the 26. Row 3 is going to be Dawson Miller in the 56 and Carter Koop in the 52. And then row 4, we'll have Matthew Robinson in the 40 and Dean Gagliano in the 41. Row 5, it'll be Jacob York in the 25 and Cliff Mullins in the 37. Row 6, we'll have Josh Collins in the 18 and Johnny Collier in the 33. Row 7, we'll have Pierce Maffett in the 11 and Rick Ward in the 34. And then row 8, we'll have Caleb Steimer in the 36 and Ed Moore Sr. in the 14. And last but not least, Sebastian Taylor in the 27, the deepest driver in our playoff field. He's going to have a lot of ground to make up in 100 laps here at South Boston. So they get 2 pace laps here. Yeah.
Climbing a huge mountain will be Sebastian Taylor.
Yeah, it's not as easy in the regular season as it is in the playoffs.
He's just gonna try to show you he can win one the hard way.
Oh yeah.
So we haven't even talked about our predictions yet.
I was just about to say, 1 to go. We got to get our predictions in. I'm gonna let you go, Harold. I don't know mine yet.
I'm gonna go Jeremy Rigney in that 84 machine. Look, I have a bratwurst. I'm kind of hungry for it right about now.
Okay, I see that. I'm gonna go with Jeremy Knapp in the 20. gonna
You know
have
what? I kept going for Nap, and he kept ranking out. And you go for Nap, and he starts winning.
Alrighty, here we go. The pace car pulls off. It's going to be James Shaywolf leading the field of green for the Dogtopia 100. Nope, that's the other race. Country Road Sports Cars 100. Wow,
There
I
we
still
go.
got Dogtopia on the mind. Wow. All right, so they're going through turn 3 and 4 for the first lap. It's going to be James Shaywolf in the 1. Oh,
Yeah,
we got a
right.
wreck. It's your pick, Jeremy Ringney. He spun around in turn 4, and that's our first yellow of the night. Now we talked to Jacob York before the race, and he said that turn 4 was going to be a trouble spot, and that's where we see our first yellow. We see some damage on the front of that 84 car, so we're going to take a little replay here, see what happened. This is on the initial start. See, looks like the 56 of Dawson Miller, tad bit early in the throttle, and it sends the 84 spinning. Those two are playoff contenders, and I would imagine that Dawson Miller would get an EOL here for the very early yellow.
Well, I was about to say something that, it seems like I have the curse. If I pick you, this might not be a good day. So I need to stop picking people.
That could be the case.
Uh-oh. Is a Hunter just going to say, sure. I'm glad you noticed it, kind of thing. Sorry to the 84 that I picked you.
Oh, trying to pull up the scoring pylon here. Can't really get a look. It looks like Ed Morris is pitted, though.
We
Against
have
Brooks.
Sebastian
Up on the
Taylor went like he drove through, and Ed Morris is on pit lane. Make sure you. Oh, that's why. Now you should be able to see the scoring timing for you.
Yep, we do indeed see that. Now, these drivers have one set of tires. You gotta use them wisely here, especially on the short track. We've seen last week's winner, Michael Leip, pit halfway through with his fresh set of tires and go on to win the race. So a different track though, shorter track, shorter tempers, shorter race because it'll go by a lot quicker.
Dawson Miller was issued the EOL penalty by race control, so he will be going to the back of the field for the contact to the 84.
And we're back green here for the Country Road Sports Cars 100. There you see Shane Wolf got a great start, great restart. In the back you see Michael Leip move up to second, Jeremy Knapp fall back to third. And the battle, next nearest battle is fifth between Carter Coop and Jacob York. See, ooh, looks like Jacob York almost spun out and saved it. He's going to drop a few positions as they almost collected the 33, Johnny Collier, and the 11 of Pierce Method.
The Michael Leip's 26 car having connection issues. That's what I'm seeing.
Yeah, we did see his car go in and out, and we have seen that throughout the season before. And we have yet to see race control park a driver for connection issues, so we should be able to see the 26 connection improving. But right now we have the battle back here for the 9th spot between Johnny Collier and Jacob York. It's everybody single file. Except the battle in the back between Dawson Miller and Caleb Steimer. Miller up top, Steimer on the bottom. There's still door-to-door back there. But up front, it's all James Shaywolf. He's increased that lead over half a second on Michael Leip. And speaking of Michael Leip, there he goes with the fastest time. So he's trying to reel in that leader. Now remember, Michael Leip, his first race was last week. He's not in he's not in the playoffs. So he'd be taking a win away from Shane Wolf, and that could be crucial the next few weeks.
I was saying with Michael Leip, from the iRacing perspective, if you're a driver that's having connection issues, you can see this on your screen. And what usually happens is when there's more cars in a confined area, like on restarts and off the pit lane, you tend to have those connection issues. We're starting to stretch out in the single file, and the cars are starting to spread out. Michael Leip may be getting more confidence in his car and basically not having connection problems, and now is under the attack going after Shane Wolf.
Also under the attack, it's that bright red car of Josh Collins. Another attack from Jacob York. That's going to be the battle for the 8th spot. As we move ahead throughout the pack. See, we're 14 laps into our 100 lap, well, now 15 into our main event of 100 laps. As James Shanewolf still holding the lead, but Michael Leip is not making it any easy.
Definitely pulling in. Then you said there's York underneath the 18.
Yep, he's still going at it for that 8th spot. See the 18 really working the top grooves, sort of like the Larson line, about hitting the wall through the middle of the corner, but still gets the run on the straightaway. Stay side by side, but not for long.
Not the
There we go.
fastest way, but he's just preventing York from powering off the corner. You know, so I'm sure York going to get a little bit frustrated by that car sticking out there and not allowing him to fire off the corner.
So here you see in the back of the pack, it's the 56 of Dawson Miller. Now remember, he was in the 5th spot when that caution came out, but that EOL puts him at the back of the pack. And now he's with Jeremy Rigney, who he spun to set the first caution of the race, and they're back in the 13th and 14th spot. So track position is going to be very crucial here, as it looks like it's going to be tough to make up some ground.
Pierce Moffitt took a really weird entry in that corner, almost like he almost was going to put that car and split it at the pit entry wall. He was able to get the car back up on the racetrack, but he went in very low, maybe got the car a little bit loose.
Yeah, I was going to say, we've been seeing some low entries and low exits from the turn 2 and turn 4 area, and that's where the pit wall stands out. There's pit walls all the way around this track, except for the corners, and you'll see it right here. It pokes out at turn 2, right around there, and we've been seeing some cars go as low as to merely clipping the tires. As we have the battle for the lead here, Michael Leip is still all over the bumper of James Shanewolf, as it actually looks like he's caught a lap car. That's the 14 of Ed Morris Sr. Gotta remember, he's a lap down, so he's got to do everything he can, especially in the playoffs. Stay in front of this leader, Shanewolf, and hope that a yellow comes out, because then he'll get the free pass. But it's holding up Shanewolf, and then it's now holding up the 26 of Michael Leip. As eventually you'll see the bumper being used, or the one get loose. He saves it, they stay green. But that one of Shanewolf's got to be a little bit ticked off at Ed Morris. So there you see that's the 26 of Leip still going in and out with his connection. And it's bringing the pack with him. Here you see 3rd place Jeremy Knapp and 4th place Matthew Robinson. They're trying to catch the leaders here. We're going to ride on the bumper of Jeremy Knapp here.
Now that makes me nervous as a driver, as Knapp is seeing that car there, and then it's not there, and it's there again.
Yeah, it definitely is very unsettling. As you see, there's Ed Morris pulling down to the bottom of the track. Going to let the one go up top, but it's going to hold off the 26 of Michael Leip. Ooh, this is going to create a bottle effect as they're nearly hitting each other, trying to get around this 14 of Ed Morris. So it's tough to pass on the lead lap here. It's also tough to pass lap cars. As there's Ed Morris, he finally moves down to the bottom. Going to let the 26 of Leip go up top, but not making it any easier. That's going to put Ed Morris 2 laps down. And just a reminder, he is a playoff driver, so he's trying to do all that he can right now. And it's starting to hold up the main pack. As you see, there's the 26 of Leip. He just got by Ed Morris Sr. Now 3rd place Jeremy Knapp's getting held up. Oh, and we got a spin here. It's 18 of Josh Collins. Spun around the middle of 3 and 4. It is off the racing surface, so there is no yellow. We're still green for the moment. Really tough break there for Josh Collins, but we stay green 30 laps in to our 100 lap main event.
Bringing it down pit lane, so he cleared the track without any incidents, so we remain green.
Yep, we remain green for the moment. Ed Morris still holding up 3rd on back as Jeremy Knapp. These cars are slowly passing them one at a time on the top, and it's just creating so much lost time for not only Michael Leip, but for the 20 of Jeremy Knapp. Oh, and we got some contact here. They're 3 wide back here. Ed Morris is blocking all 3 lanes of the racetrack. Here comes Matthew Robinson, and we got the 52 of Carter Coop going sideways, and we got a crash in turn 2. Coop's going to stuff the 37 of Mullins right in the pit wall. The green is still out. There's no caution yet, but all that was just from Ed Morris blocking or not blocking, but essentially not letting any of the leaders go.
I'm surprised we maintained yellow conditions. So I guess nobody got below the minimum speed to trigger an iRacing flag.
Yeah, that's insane. And now the 18 of Collins is a lap down. Mullins is in the pit road because he had nowhere to go, and he stuffed it in the pit wall. Like I said, this was all a bottle effect from the 14 of Ed Morris, making it difficult for cars on the lead lap to pass him. And that might do it for Cliff Mullins in the 37. Such a tough break for that 37. He was really starting to pick it up throughout the season, and for it to happen now in the playoffs where he gets crunched out, it's going to be a tough one to swallow. So here you see, there's 25 of Jacob York passing the 52 of Carter Coop, who's got some damage on his vehicle.
Coop
So
was
will the
involved
11
in
of
that.
Pierce Method.
Coop was in that group of cars that
Yeah,
bounced
Carter
off the wall.
Carter Coop was pinballing throughout the entire turn 1 and 2 part. So amazing that there's no yellow yet, but we got a spin here. It's Ed Morris. That's going to bring out the yellow. Oh, and a couple more
disconnected.
drivers just smacked the wall.
He called for a tow truck. That's why he disappeared there.
All right, so the yellow finally comes out, but it's not gonna do the 37 to Cliff Mullins any favors, as you'll see right here. Our replay. Looks like he had some contact here from the 20. Oh, right into the pit wall. That's why he needed that tow truck. The 20 of Jeremy Knapp. We'll get another look at this. 20 of Jeremy Knapp just fed up with the 14, just basically blocking him or not moving out of the way. See, this has been stewing from a long time now. There you see, finally finishes the job right here, right into that pit entry that we were talking about, where we've seen some drivers nearly clip the tires coming out of the corners. So we had some pit stops here going on. Jacob York on pit road along with Dawson Miller, Sebastian Taylor, Rick Ward, and we got Jeremy Knapp and Caleb Steimer also in the pit road as well.
So Coop and Life stayed out, but everybody else has come down pit lane to get new tires, it looks, at least. Most of these guys are getting tires.
Yep, it's their only set of tires for the race, so they're going to have to use it wisely. Now, this is a quick race. It's 0.4 of a mile for this track, so it's only 40 miles, and 100 laps here just go like that. We're already done 40 laps, so the next 60, it's going to be like that. Like in a snap, you'll be down to 10 laps to go. So these guys are going to have to be more wise with their tires. Coverage of the Rick Hot Sauce Late Model Series is brought to you by Country Road Sports Cards. Country Road Sports Cards. You'll find high quality sports cards at very reasonable prices. And all shipping is fast and will come in a bubble mailer, plain white envelope, or protected container. And orders totaling $10 or more will have USPS tracking included. Go to Country Road Sports Cards LLC on eBay and find your newest card or die cast to add to your collection today. Big thanks to Country Road Sports Cards sponsoring the Country Road Sports Cards 100. It's the first playoff race for the Rick's Hot Sauce Late Model Series. You'll see the 26 and the 1 here on the front row. Going to bring him back to the green. Pace car down pit road. Got 58 laps to go here at South Boston.
And Jeremy Knapp was given an EOL for the contact that caused Ed Morris Sr. to spin out. But he's going to have to work his way up through the field now.
Indeed he will, as you see the battle there in the back for the 4th spots. Matthew Robinson on the bottom, Jeremy Ringney up top, Jacob York following in close pursuit with him. You see some more battles going on there, but we had a swap here. The 26 of Life is leading, and James Sheenwolf was in second.
That's because Life stayed out. He's got 44 laps on his stint, 45 now. Like you said, last time he waited till the end and got his tires later than everybody else to take advantage of the late set of good, fresh 4 tires, right?
Indeed. So here's the 40 of Matthew Robinson here. Ooh, there you see in the back now, Sebastian Taylor on the outside of Dawson Miller. That's going to be for the 8th spot. But Matthew Robinson was closing in on James Sheenwolf.
Dawson Miller looks pretty good for that race car being in the back there. Not any damage that I could see. And just, you know, we had a lot of beating and banging around him, and he was able to get through scot-free.
Yep, and looks like we have out for second here. Robinson looking like he'll take the spot over Shane Wolf. Push towards the back. We have some contact. The 11 of Moffitt got hit by the 84 of Rigney as they approached the wall in the front stretch. So far, everyone remains clean. And there you see the 40 of Robinson closing in on our leader, Michael Light. Oh, we got some close battling on the front stretch there. They were about towards the inside wall, going 3 wide. But right now, we're right on board with Matthew Robinson. He's going to dive it down to the bottom here in turn 3 and take the lead. Coming out of turn 4, your playoff contender, Matthew Robinson, taking the lead here. We get to the halfway mark of this race. That halfway mark of the race, the Dogtopia 100, going to be presented by Jericho's Auto Auction of Western Michigan. So Matthew Robinson, one of the big 3 drivers from throughout the season, has taken the lead, and he's had quite a deep way to come through the field. So you see the car behind him, Michael Leip, had his first start last week in New Hampshire. He won it, and now he's running in the top 5 here at South Boston. Just had the lead snatched from him, from Matthew Robinson. And then behind him, you'll have the one of James Shane Wolf, another playoff contender that's had a really solid season. Had some run-ins with Jacob York last week, but looking to keep a cool, calm, collected set of championship. He's got the championship in front of him. That's what he needs to focus on. Johnny Collier, also a playoff driver in the 33, really stepping it up here as he was deep in the point standings, but still found his way in the playoffs, running 4th right now. And that's the run that he needs if he wants to win the championship. And right behind him, you see Pierce Maffin in the 11. He's had the lowest exit in turn 2 and turn 4, nearly hitting the pit wall. Which you'll see right here. He gets close to that pit wall and doesn't hit it. He's had an up and down kind of night, but he's currently sitting in the 5th spot right now. Behind him, you'll have the orange 25 of the Miller Racing Graphic Cars, Jacob York. He is currently 6th right now on the racetrack. He's had quite a bit of up and downs throughout the year, but he want to have the ups in the playoffs right now. Currently he's running 6th. That's pretty good up. Austin Miller in the 7th spot. He created the first yellow after getting into Jeremy Rigney, who's right behind him, and had the drive from 15th in the field all the way up to 7th. So a solid run for that 56 car. And there right behind him was the first yellow. It was Jeremy Rigney. He's now getting passed by Carter Coop on the bottom. Not yet. So Jeremy Rigney got caught up in that lap 1 caution. He's driven his way back up to 8th. Still might have some vengeance on the mind. Dawson Miller, we'll have to see. Carter Coop in the 52 car, a late addition into the playoffs, kicking out Jerry Glenn for not showing up tonight. Sporting a Ricky Bobby paint scheme, and he's had quite a bit of run-ins as well, and for him to be running a 9th, that's pretty solid. He's near the 84 there. Dean Gagliano in the 41. He's been beat up quite a bit tonight. He's currently running 10th, trying to manage what he can. And the car behind him, Jeremy Knapp, he was running 3rd at one point tonight, and then got caught up in that caution with Ed Morris Sr., and just a calamity of cars there as they were struggling to get around him. Not what he needs to see in the playoffs. And also Sebastian Taylor in the 27, not what he needs to see as well, as he's had quite a solid season, but he's currently running 12th right now with some damage to the right front. Also, Rick Ward, a playoff driver, damage to the right front as well. He's had quite a quiet season. As you see, we have a caution on the racetrack, and it looks like that was the 84 of Jeremy Rigney. Yup. Jeremy Rigney spun around there on the backstretch, and I believe it was from the 52 of Carter Coop. See right there? Oh!
There's a contact with the 33.
Yeah, looks like he might have had a little bit contact from the 52. Or no, he just got loose and just got into the 33.
Yep.
Yeah. Just got into the 33 of Johnny Collier. That'll bring out another caution in tonight's Dogtopia 100. Nope, not Dogtopia. I've got Dogtopia on the mind. I love Dogtopia. Country Road Sports Cars 100. I love all our sponsors. I love dogs. I love Country Road Sports Cars. I love sports cars in general. It's just all coming in. It's just all hitting at once.
The 84 is going to smoke the field here. He's coming around.
Yeah, and that'll be the end of the day for him. Just talking about how he was running in the top 5 when he got taken out by Dawson Miller on lap 1, and then had to make his way back up through the field, and he was running right there in the 9th spot, and just the night wasn't the night.
Yeah, he's disconnected or had to tow the car because he wasn't able to get back to his pit stall.
I'd like to point out that everyone in the field has made a pit stop tonight. Seems like the most recent drivers to make their pit stops haven't pitted. Looking here through our leaderboard, it was Michael Light. Michael Light was the only driver that hadn't pit yet. And very similar to last week, he waited until about around halfway in the race, made his pit stop, and then things worked out in his favor and he won. So it'll be interesting to see here, as they did get the one to go that time by. So we'll have 35 laps to go here at South Boston for the first of 5 playoff races for the Rick Satsas Late Model Series. It's going to be Matthew Robinson when they bring us back to green, along with the... Oh,
Something happened with our timing and scoring again. It locked up and said that we had 2 leaders, so we're going to have to figure out what's going on with that tonight.
a little bit of technical difficulty issue, but right now our leader is Matthew Robinson as we're back green. 25 with Jacob York. That's going to be under the 11th spot, or under the 2nd spot of the 11. Nearly gets into him there on the front stretch. Looks like Moth is going to get that outside to go his... Ooh, I am really struggling here. His way. I need more beverage.
Need more beverage.
Yes, I need more beverage. So there you see his Miller Racing Graphic teammate right there on the bottom. Whoa, Dawson Miller very loose. He's going to hold on to the car, but might lose another spot. So there you see Ed Moore still smoking it up in pit road. Right now the 11 and Moffitt trying to close in on the leader of Robinson, and the battle for 3rd and 5th continues to heat up. See Collier there smack the wall coming out of turn 2. Miller's gonna struggle to keep his car going as York prevails on the top, and now Carter Coop trying to pass the 56 of Dawson Miller while still battling with the one of Shane Wolf here. It looks like they'll clear the spot from Shane Wolf, and right behind those guys it's gonna be Jeremy Knapp and Michael Leip in the 26. So Michael Leip's got some fresh set of tires. Good to see him working his way through. We got quite the battle here between Shane Wolf and Dawson Miller. Had a low approach going through turn 1. Looks like everything worked out okay. They're still quite low. Jeremy Knapp gets into the side of Miller there. Miller just getting moved around like a ping pong ball. A little bit of technical difficulties still, but we are still rolling here. Have less than 30 to go in the Country Road Sports Cars 100 in South Boston. Oh, and there we go. We got a car hard in the inside wall. Going to keep it going. No caution yet. It looks like that was the 41 of Dean Gagliano, who got into the 56 of Miller, then hit the inside wall on the front stretch, and going to keep it green. So there you see the Collier machine underneath Dawson Miller there. That's going to be for the 8th spot. That's the closest battle on track right now, and Miller going to settle in behind Collier. Collier going to be up to the 8th spot. And right behind those guys, you see the 36 of Caleb Steimer there, getting into the 27 of Sebastian Taylor just a little bit. Sebastian Taylor not having the night that he wanted to have. So here you see this is the battle for, that's the 3rd spot. Michael Leip in the fresh set of tires, moving his way to the front. He's underneath the one of Shane Wolf for 3rd. Still blanking in and out with connection issues, but he's got the spot. So move Michael Leip up to 3rd. There's the 11 of Pierce Maffitt there. About 1 second behind the leader, Matthew Robinson, who's currently got his eyes set on that checkered flag that's going to fall within the next 24 laps.
We still have 16 drivers connected to the service, but only 11 on the lead lap.
Very interesting. The last of those 11 being Dean Gagliano. There are things I've kind of evened out, calmed out just a little bit. Matthew Robinson has quite the lead now. Starting to stretch it out to about 1.2 seconds over Pierce Maffitt. Maffitt not being a playoff driver, so still looking for the upset if we get another caution. And another one that could upset is the 26 of Michael Leip. He's caught the 11 of Pierce Maffitt now. Time is starting to dwindle here as they're running 15, 16-second lap times, about as short of lap times as they are at Bristol. Leip all over the bumper of the 11 here as they go down to turn 1. Leip's going to take the top lane at the approach. Now he's going to cross him up down on the bottom. 26 of Michael Leip is the fastest car on the racetrack. He's going to clear the 11 of Maffitt for second. And now with less than 20 to go, he's got his eyes set on that number 40. Matthew Robinson looking to upset the field here tonight at South Boston. We'll have a rundown here of your top 10. Right now, Matthew Robinson is currently your leader, followed by Michael Leip in second. Third will be Pierce Maffitt. Fourth, James Shanewolf. Fifth, Jacob York. And then rounding out the top 10, it's going to be Carter Koop in sixth, Jeremy Knapp seventh, Dawson Miller eighth, Sebastian Taylor ninth, and Caleb Steimer now has cracked the top 10. Apologize for the technical difficulties here with the ticker. Still not able to get that up, but we're at 17 laps to go now. So there you see the battle for third. Shane will fall over the bumper of the 11. There we go. There's our ticker. Back with us. So you see that gap still at 1.2 seconds for Robinson, but now over Michael Leip. And Michael Leip has the freshest set of tires, so he's got close to, I want to say, 14 laps to go now, trying to catch the 40 of Robinson. And he's slowly chipping away, but I don't know if he'll have enough time. So you see the battle for third, heating up. Shane Wolf looked like he had the bottom there. 14 of Edmore is still smoking it up at pit road.
Eating a tenth off him each lap about here, so gonna get close. But
yeah,
once
it's
he
gonna
gets
come down
within
to the wire.
range, yeah, it's like, can you catch him and pass him? You catch him is one thing, the pass is the other.
You see, we have the top 4 drivers that are basically on the screen. Well, what happened to the rest of the guys? Well, the next closest driver, Carter Koop, he's about 7 seconds behind the top 4. I should say 4 behind the top 4, but 7 behind the leader. These top 4 have spaced themselves out quite a bit, and that 26 car has closed in ever so slightly to the bumper of the 40. And now we have 10 laps to go in the Country Road Sports Cars 100 from South Boston. Michael Leip. I was going to say Matthew Robinson. Matthew Robinson leading with Michael Leip and Hot Pursuit behind him. And the 37 of Cliff Mullins still on track. He's 37 laps down, but we got some smoke on the racetrack, and a caution is out. Oh my, this is definitely going to spice things up. Sebastian Taylor just drove out of the pit wall. Let's take a look at a replay here and see what happened. So he already blew up. Nope. Oh my.
I believe he disconnected though prior to this. Let's back it up and look at that.
Yeah,
it looked like he actually disappeared and reappeared in front of the guys. See he's actually not there.
Yeah. So he blinked, and then when he came back, he was getting hit all over. So that's just unfortunate for Sebastian Taylor. 27. That spiced things up for the rest of us, and Jacob York is actually on pit road. It's interesting to see Jacob York making a pit stop here. He's going to put his set of tires on. I guess he never used his.
Wow.
At least the right sides.
No, he put 4 on.
4.
Yeah, because that's his left side just went up. So he's got brand new tires, but in 6 laps, is he going to be able to use them? That's the question.
I don't know if he'll have enough time. He might have to rely on the field wrecking, which he did say in the pre-race that turn 4 was a problem spot, and that we could see a big wreck collecting 8 or 10 cars coming out of turn 4. So it's getting down to crunch time here, and it's about the length of a heat race that we had earlier. We had Miller Graphics heat race, and then we have the Dogtopia heat race. Here's the 52 of Carter Coupe with that hood all beat up,
And
but he's
Sebastian
still giving it his shot.
Sebastian Taylor's engine just let loose.
Indeed it did, as it continues to smoke on the pit road. We're going to get the one to go here, and now we'll have basically a 4-lap dash to decide the winner of the I almost said it again, of the Country Road Sports Cars 100. I love Dogtopia. Love Dogtopia. So Matthew Robinson is going to be our leader here. Michael Leip on the outside. Pierce Maffitt, Shane Wolf, and Carter Coupe, your top 5.
We're going to be under 5 to go because the lights are still on the pace car.
Oh, the lights are still on. Okay. They were doubled up. It looked like they were going to go green. So now it's going to cut down to a 3-lap shootout.
Going green next lap. And Dean Gagliano was given the EOL for the last caution.
Oh, interesting. So Gagliano with the EOL. Send him to the back. But up front, it's Matthew Robinson, Michael Leip, Pierce Maffitt, James Shanewolf, and Carter Coupe, your top 5. Pace car makes the hard left turn. We're about to go green for a 3-lap dash to the finish here at South Boston. Oh, the 11 makes it 3 wide underneath the 26 of Leip. He moves up to second. Shane Wolf with a battle now for third, as Moffitt trying to get close to the bumper of... Wow, they just shot up all over the racetrack, trying to get close to the bumper of Robinson, but Robinson's gone. We got 2 laps to go now, and now the 11's getting moved out of the way. He's into the wall. Oh, he gets hit. He's flipping over. He's stuck on his roof on the backstretch, and the caution comes out. An insane move by James Shanewolf that sent the 11 of Maffitt on his lid. Let's take a look at a replay here. Wow, as it just all escalated. It went from 0 to 100, as you see the 11 get moved out of the way by Shane Wolf. Then he comes back, gets hit by Carter Coupe, and there you see him upside down. Looks like he got hit while he was on his roof. What an insane turn of events that was. It looked like the 11 had a spot, maybe for the win. But he gets moved by the 1, and he... Let's hear. So the 1 definitely gets into the back of the 11, shoots him up the track. And then here he comes, back in the Carter Coupe, sends him upside down. And then right there, the 34 of Rick Ward is going to drive right through him. An insane turn of events here at South Boston. So the 11 car, Moffitt wasn't the championship driver, but was one that could upset the championship drivers. So
green right checker is set up now.
Going to be interesting to see who they give the EOL to. It could go to James Shanewolf, and that might drop him to the rear of the field. So we'll have to keep an eye on that one.
Look where York's at.
Oh man, Jacob York with the fresh set of tires in a green-white checker situation. Could he do it? He's possibly looking at a 3rd starting spot, pending on the EOL being issued. It could be given out to the 1 of Shane Wolf there for initiating the contact, or it could just be given to the 11 of Pierce Maffitt, but we'll have to wait and see. What a race this has been to kick off the playoffs for the Rick's Hot Sauce Late Model Series. And more still smoking away on pit road. And looks like EOL will not be given to the 1 of Shane Wolf. So the lights go out on the pace car, so we'll have 2 laps here at South Boston. Come down the backstretch. It's going to be a green-white checkered here at South Boston. Can the 40 of Matthew Robinson win? Will it be the 1 of Shane Wolf? How about the 26 of Michael Leip? Or will it be his cousin, the 25 of Jacob York? Let's find out here as the green flags back out. 2 to go at South Boston. Shane Wolf with a deep dive into turn 1 on the top. He gets hit from the back by York. Robinson's going to take the lead, but he's stuck on the low line as Robinson now in the middle. They're nearly spinning out in the back. Michael Leip gets into Robinson, and there they go, wrecking on the front stretch. White flags out. No caution here as they're wrecking all over in turn 1. We got cars in the wall on the inside and the outside. But up front, it's James Shanwolf. Through 3 and 4, he's going to steal one here and win at South Boston in the playoffs. It all happened so fast, so quick. Unreal there. Michael Leip might have changed the progression of the playoffs as we know it. As they were all over the place here. So you see he gets into the back of Robinson here, and Shanwolf's getting hit from York. Looked like he was going to make it 3 wide there. Then he taps the 40, gets him up the track. He hits him once more, and that sends him sideways. And I thought they were all done here. I thought we were going to see that 8 or 10 car pileup that Jacob York was talking about, but we never saw it. And the one of Shanwolf never saw it either. He just saw clear racetrack, and he took the checkered flag. One away for this race to end. And James Shanwolf, he nearly got himself a penalty last week, a point deduction for the playoffs after his run-ins with Jacob York. And look at those two. They finished 1-2 tonight. But Shanwolf comes out on top, and Jacob York going to come home second after taking fresh set of tires late. Here's your finishing results presented by America's Auto Auction of Western Michigan. James Shanwolf gets the job done, and then especially when it matters most in the playoffs, he wins the Country Road Sports Cars 100. So there you see Jacob York in second, Carter Coop third, Matthew Robinson still comes home fourth, but would have liked to have a win, and Johnny Collier in the 5th spot, keeping on that 33 car. He was deep in the points before the playoffs, and now he's right up there with the big dogs. Speaking of big dogs, Big D, Dawson Miller, going to finish 6th tonight. Michael Leip in 7th after creating that chaos. Caleb Steimer coming home 8th, Jeremy Knapp 9th, and Dean Gagliano going to round out the top 10. The rest of the pack from 11th on, it's Rick Ward, Pierce Maffitt, Sebastian Taylor, Cliff Mullins, Jeremy Rigney, Josh Collins, and Ed Morris Sr.
We talked about getting in. Remember, we talked about Carter Coop just getting into the playoffs. Top 3 tonight.
Yeah, Carter Coop was a late addition into the playoffs due to Jerry Glenn not being able to show up. And he's 3rd right now. Insane what that could mean for Carter Coop if he just comes in late and steals the championship. But right now, that one of Shanwolf looking pretty neat. So there you see our race recap presented by Extreme Motorsports. It's going to be the one of James Shanwolf that comes home with the trophy. We've had 5 yellows in this race for 24 laps. And the fastest lap was the 26 of Michael Leip with a 15.883. But the one of Shanwolf came out on top in the number 1 spot. And that will do it tonight from South Boston. Tune in next Sunday when the Rick's Hot Sauce Late Model Series travels down south to Myrtle Beach for the Miller Racing Graphics 100. For everyone in the booth here, Harold Darmer, Jacob Bell, who couldn't be with us tonight, I'm Hunter Sleppy saying so long. Have a good night.
What an exciting race brought to you by Wendigo Studios. Here they come out of turn 4 to the white flag, and it's 1 to go. Thank you to all our sponsors, drivers, and viewers. We'll see you at the next turn.